Hello all. I wanted to congratulate everyone reaching the end of the semester. We did it. I also wanted to take the time out to thank you all for giving me feedback during peer discussions and some of the experiences and sharings that I gave. And I also wanted to thank you as well for sharing your experiences. They were very informative and also enlightened me on the different approaches and different thoughts of each and every counselor here. One thing I have to say that has changed because of this course is the knowledge that I have. I started off being a paraprofessional and a juvenile counselor for about 20 years now, and have always worked hand in hand with students, but never really knew all the standards and commands that are needed to actually guide and support students. I think that these standards also help when making sure to protect the student as well as protect me as a counselor. I think another thing that also helped in this course was the keynote speakers. It kind of gave me a different perspective on how counselors feel when they are being challenged. I think it is important to understand that although we are all here to support and guide our students, it is also important to follow regulations and guidelines. I think the keynote speakers also played a tremendous role in my attitude and skills, because often we spend a lot of time reading, and sometimes that reading can become redundant, and we often forget small things. And listening or seeing some of these keynote speakers allowed certain points to actually be embedded in my thoughts and my approaches and how I would further support and guide a student. I would hope that some things that I gave to my peers in this course was a better understanding, or maybe not a better understanding, but a different understanding on my approach when providing support to students. It is also helpful to see how everyone uses different skill sets when guiding a child that might be facing difficulty or might just need academic support. And I feel that the experiences that I've went through are really first-hand experiences. It's not something that I learned through just hearing or listening. I actually had the privilege and opportunity to work with kids, and most of my reflections were based on that. So I hope that having that hands-on experience enlightens some people, most of you, with a better understanding of what it is to actually work with children, which most of you, I'm sure you have. I think that it's also important for me to collaborate in a way that is helpful for everyone. I think that the peer discussion groups gave a great platform for that. I think sharing ideas and giving feedback to some of those ideas are helpful, because there are things that sometimes we miss or may not have approached in that way, but seeing and responding kind of gives us a better understanding of what it means to counsel. Besides the shadow experience, something that I didn't know was how to upload the video. I kind of struggled a bit with that, so it was a little challenging, but once I was able to get it, I think I was okay. Another thing that I kind of didn't know before was the school counseling action plan. I'm sorry. I'm so used to seeing lesson plans given by teachers, I never really thought that there was a actual action plan that counselors used. I've never seen it. I'm not sure why, because I've been around plenty of counselors, but I just never ever seen action plan. And I think that was something that was also very helpful, because it actually allowed me to see and use the standards and create a goal, create a plan, and follow through, which is something that I like in terms of organizational skills, and also just a way to be able to see the task that is being done and making sure that I actually complete it. So I didn't know about that, and I'm glad that, well, I have to learn it, but I'm glad that it was provided in this course. What does a comprehensive school counseling program mean to me? To start off, I believe that a comprehensive program means a collaborations amongst everyone in the school. That goes from paraprofessionals, from teachers, from counselors, social workers, administration, and then you have your parents, community, and the student as well. I think that a comprehensive program is put into place to make sure that the students' needs are being met. I think that all resources have to be accessible, and that we are providing the students with all the accommodations, all of the services, in order to make sure that this child or this student is on the road to success. I think another thing that is important is the presence of the counselor and how they advocate. For me, I would make sure as an advocate for the student is that I am privy to all of the factors that this student is coming with, whether it's a student that has disabilities, whether it's a student that just needs some accommodations, struggling at home. I think it's important to take in all of those factors and ensure that I service and provide everything needed for the student to be successful. As the advocate, I would also make sure that the school is providing the necessary means for the student to succeed. Often there's something as simple as food the child may be struggling with at home. I think it's important that every corner is covered when guiding. So as an advocate and dealing with students, my intent is to really have a good relationship and platform to be able to share some of the feelings and emotions the student is having, so that I can then translate that to my colleagues in order to make sure that the student is properly serviced. I think some advice or tips that I would give students taking this course is definitely time management. I think it is so beneficial to stay on task, not only for time constraints due on the assignments, but I also think that by managing the time, it allows you to actually listen carefully to some of the videos that were lengthy, also some of the readings and optional readings. Often when we're under time constraint and we don't have good time management, it kind of puts us in a place where we're rushing through things. And I think that it's so important that we take into account all of the necessary things we need to know in order to properly counsel a kid, because we do not want to counsel this kid in the wrong direction. So I think that's one of the main things that I would say in to a student that's actually taking this course. I also would encourage students to stay informed as well as communicate with the professor. That has been very helpful for me. Often there were some things that, not that I didn't understand, but maybe just a little unclear of, and being in constant communication with the professor also helped in her guiding me to understand the things that I didn't, but also giving me some pointers on how I can pretty much tackle some of the tasks. And I think the collaboration part amongst my peers and the professor were very helpful. So definitely time management, and definitely communication. I said it's a big part, and it's also in preparation to what you will be doing once you start counseling. But once again, I want to thank everybody for taking the time out to listen, to read, to share. I had a great experience in this course, and I hope to see you guys again down the line. Good luck.